We are an organization built on stories. Stories like those that you just heard from Jacayla and Darius, Jennifer and Detarius, and then Jennifer and Kamira, even Steve learning to tie a tie. I've got countless stories with Derek, the little brother I was matched with 27 years ago. We shot hoops, we baked cookies. He took his driver's test in my car. He actually used that car for prom. He threw out a first pitch at a Saints game. We won big in middle of the year. He wrote a rap about us. He was the best man when I got married. We even modeled in a Land's End catalog together. Pretty sharp, pretty sharp. Am I kind of gloating at this point? Yeah, probably. Through ups and downs, it's hard for me not to be proud of a relationship like ours. All these stories, they are the heartbeat of Big Brothers, Big Sisters, and we have millions of them. And those stories build to a collective impact. And we have the data to prove it. As many of you know, the former underwriter in me loves to talk about numbers. I love to talk about data. So here we go. Numerous studies from the Office of the Juvenile Justice, the CDC, the Department of Education, the World Bank, they all confirm the power of youth mentoring. Stronger mental health, avoidance of risky behaviors, higher academic performance. But there's one study that has me really geeking out. Last year, as Steve mentioned earlier, a 30-year study in conjunction with Harvard and the IRS examined the long-term impact of Big Brothers, Big Sisters mentorship. It included youth from the Twin Cities. Now wait, did I just hear someone say they really wanted me to dive into the research methodology? Great! The entire pool for the study, here we go. The entire pool for the study were youth that signed up for a mentor, right? They signed up for a big with Big Brothers, Big Sisters. Unfortunately, not all youth that sign up for a big ultimately are matched with one. Remember the 600 young people that Steve mentioned on our wait list? Unfortunately, some of them will never get matched. The study compared those that were matched and those that weren't, right? And those records were cross-referenced with IRS data, college enrollment records, incarceration databases, and birth records. It was an unprecedented analysis of longitudinal data. It followed littles into adulthood. The results? Increased graduations, higher college enrollment, lower incarceration and teen pregnancy rates. Incredible, incredible. What these outcomes drove was an incredible financial impact, closing 2/3 of the equity gap. The big thing that I keep glomming onto is it all equates to a 15% increase in the lifetime earnings for a little that is matched with a big. That's real economic mobility. Think about that, 15%. Harvard actually deemed Big Brothers, Big Sisters one of the most efficient programs they had ever tested in terms of youth intervention strategies. And it all makes sense. It makes sense, right? When you think about future success, it's about having the necessary skills and creating youth pathways, which you've all seen tonight through our Big Brothers, Big Sisters, and the Big Futures programming. And so it's about having those skills, and it's about having networks and social capital and social connection, relationships, right? That's the magic of Big Brothers, Big Sisters, bringing that together. So what does this all mean in real dollars? Let me give you a quick example. Let's say my good friend, Roger Bailey, right here. Hey, Roger, how are you? Good to see you. Let's just say, in a moment, Roger raises his paddle and says, hey, Pat, I'm proud to donate $1,000. Let's just say Roger does it as an example. Let's just say he does that, just as an example, right, Roger? That $1,000, it equates to over $23,000 in future earnings for a little. That's the math. Tonight, We're shooting for a fundraising goal of almost $500,000, right? That amount built through the generosity and investments from all of you, that's going to equate to over $11 million in increased earnings for young people in this program. That's what you are going to do tonight. This is more than a donation. It's generational transformation, a stronger economy, a ripple effect that builds wealth and closes gaps. In an organization with millions of stories, this is a big one. And see, it's that easy. And sometimes it isn't. I've been here, this is my 4th year on stage as the CEO. And the first year I stood on stage with Derek, who I glowed about earlier. Right? That matches 99% of the reason I stand before you today. Year 2, I stood with Christine Meyer of Girls Rise Up, another brilliant youth mentoring organization highlighting the power of community partnerships. Last year, I was joined by Shari. You might remember her. She was my incredible youth interpreter. She reminded us of the strength in listening to and embracing the voices of young people. Each year, I've been so fortunate to share stories, to share data, to speak to inspiration. But tonight, I have to acknowledge something heavier. In this current climate, our values, relationships, youth-centered, belonging, justice, equity, diversity, inclusion, the foundation of our work, those are under attack. Over our 105-year history, we've had to adapt, to navigate, and find new ways to sustain our mission, and we will continue to do so. And our values will continue to guide this work, continue to guide how we invite and support our participants, how we design programming, just like you've heard tonight, how we build relationships in our community. This is what the young people in our program are asking from us. And this isn't just a professional challenge, it's personal for all of us. You know, it's actually made me really reflect on my leadership. Right, in this moment, would we step up? Would I shrink? It's funny. Well, actually, it's not funny. Before Big Brothers Big Sisters, I used to think I really understood the value of inclusion and belonging. You know, I nodded along. But as Jennifer said earlier, we need to listen with humility. I'm not sure I was doing that. I wasn't questioning. I didn't often think about what voices were represented and what were underrepresented, how my experiences were informing my perspectives. But here's the truth. When you're surrounded by this team, by this mission, and most importantly, by the bigs, the littles, and the families, you don't shrink under this pressure. You rise. And I am so grateful for that gift and can so clearly see the value across everyone who embraces that journey. That's what this work does. It makes all of us rise. It makes all of us better members of our communities. In a moment, you'll be asked to invest in the young people of Big Brothers Big Sisters, and we're going to ask you to do it at different levels. Tonight, I'm personally giving $5,000. It's the largest one-time gift I've ever made, and for me, it's very clear. We need to go above and beyond, and we need to do that right now. I don't say my giving amount looking for praise, although thanks. Honestly, if you want to applaud someone tonight, please find a little or a big, or one of the Big Brothers Big Sisters team and honor them. They are on the front lines of this work, navigating this challenge. They deserve it. I'm giving because I know the impact. That $5,000 equates to close to $120,000 in additional earnings for littles. And it is needed now. This work has always been challenging and now becomes even more challenging. We will have less resources, and we will have an even greater demand for our programs from young people who already feel unseen. In a world that tries to divide us and bully us, this work stands in opposition. We are here to build up, not to tear down, to include, to not exclude, to see young people for who they are and who they can become. Despite these challenges, or honestly, maybe even because of these challenges, I have never been more proud to be part of this team, to lead this organization, to stand in front of you, our partners, our believers, our champions. Please join me in supporting this work. Please consider going above and beyond. Let's make tonight a moment we can all be proud of, a moment where we stand up for young people like Derek, Detarius, Kamira, Shari, Jakayla, Darius, for all young people, and for the big futures we all know are possible. Thank you.